Hey there, it's Brittany, and I'm back with a tutorial. I am going to be using some of the items from the most recent Bargain Bead Box. I think we got these in the Bargain Bead Box. It's been a while, but I know we got these crystals. I really wanted to use these. I actually bought some more from Bargain Bead Box, and I just got them today, so that's what's been taking me so long. I was waiting for them to come, or waiting for them to put them on their website, and then waiting for them to be delivered. Anne-Marie also sent me this strand of beads that I thought went really well with what they were calling these ocean jasper. This is the chert brecciated jasper, and I thought it just looked really good together. I brought out 3 different pendants that I didn't know. I'm leaning towards this one. I got this in Tucson in 2019, I want to say, and it was $2. How could I not buy that? And I think it's absolutely vintage. Like, I've never seen a piece like this. It feels old. It looks old. So I also got out these 2. This one has some fossil coral. I don't think I'm going to use that one. And I got out this one, which I got at Tucson this year. So I think it's been on my desk for a while, so I've been able to look at it. I think I'm going to go with this one. I wanted to do a knotted piece using some, I mean, it's not going to be like the most exciting piece, but I just really loved how these crystals looked and how this pendant looked and how these beads looked together. So I think I'm going to incorporate some gold or brass seed beads or spacer beads or something, but I really like this whole look, and I wanted to knot it. So I'm gonna I have a couple colors that we can look at here. Oh, that brown's nice. No, gray's nice too. No, green's okay. I think I like the gray and the brown, or the tan. No, I like these 2. I just have to decide whether I'm going to do 2 colors or 1 color. Oh boy. I'm going to open up these beads and see if I can get 2 strands plus a needle through them. That's going to really decide it for me. Oh my goodness. Oh, we have a bead escape artist. The brown is a little more stiff than the gray. Yeah, the 2 aren't, I mean, I'm going to try and put them through without the needle, but the needle's the easy piece. Yeah, that's not, that will work, but I really do want to use both sizes, so let's see. Okay, I'm going to let that dry for a second. Yeah, we're able to get them both in. I like that. And then I will knot between these. I just have to decide my pattern. Okay, so obviously I want my pendant in the middle. I'm gonna start, I love these. Like if you look at these little beads, they have like little red stripes in them. I think they're so cool. So anyway, neither here nor there. I need to find a spacer bead that I like. Oh, I have these. I got these in Tucson. I'm gonna just use those. I think those are gonna look really nice. All right, so I am going to start by pulling off quite a bit of string cord for both for the necklace, and it's almost like a mala, but it's not going to be a mala. Okay, I've lined up all 4 ends. These 2 are actually glued together, but I'm going to line up all 4 ends and stick it through my pendant. And then once I start on whatever side of the necklace the 2 that aren't glued together is on, I will glue those 2 together as well. And then I am just going to pull that through, and I'm going to pull that through here. Oh goodness, we might have a knot on our hands that I can't control because I wasn't really paying attention. Oh no, it worked, yay, there we go. There we go. So we have a knot right there. And I'm going to see if I have a bead. I don't know. I think all 4 will go through our crystal. And then we'll move that all the way down. Like that above our knot. And if you want, you can do another knot here. I don't mind. I'm just going to do another knot right here with all 4. And I'm going to grab my knotting pliers. I prefer knotting pliers over other knotting tools. I just haven't been able to get the amount of precision with other knotting tools that I can with knotting pliers. So I'm going to go ahead and hold that inside that knot and then squeeze that knot down to our bead. And then I'm going to pull that tight. And there we go. There is our pendant. And I am going to knot up each side using a combination of these beads, the seed beads, and the crystals. I am going to look to see if there's, I kind of want to incorporate more brass. So I want to find like a big metal bead to include in here too. Right, so I found these from Chelsea's Beads. I got them late 2020, early 2021, I can't remember. And they're about the same tone, and I really like them. I think they'll look really good in here. So let's see, I'm going to split these off. And the 2 that I have glued together is the side that I'm going to start with. I'm going to start by sticking on a brass bead. I guess they're not glued together anymore, but they're the ones that have super glue on them. And then a small brocaded jasper. And this necklace is going to take me some time, so I'm going to show you how to do the knotting, and then I am going to actually take it downstairs and work on it there. On my comfortable couch. So I will show you what I'm going to do here. We have our little jasper, and then I'm going to put on another brass bead. And when you have beads that kind of aren't the best fit for your cord, or your cords are just a little bit big, you're going to have to take a little bit extra time, but I'm positive that my outcome's still going to be really, really nice. That's why I'm willing to take the time on this necklace. So this actually is going to be reminiscent of one of the necklaces I made with some curated bead box beads last year, but I didn't knot that one. I used seed beads in between, and I could actually just keep going with this and just use these in between and make it look like that, but I do want the knotted look, and I like how we have two different colors of string. So that's what I'll be doing for this one. This is going to take a while, but it's for me, so I'm worth it, right? All right, so I'm going to stick my little knotting pliers right there. Pull that tight and slip out my pliers and then push down. There we go. So we have a little knot. And then I actually need to like decide how many I have on each side and then kind of go from there. So 1, 2, I have a little tray from the dollar store that's going to really help me with this. So I'm going to put my 8mm on one side, then my crystals, and then my 10mm, and I'm going to count them out so I have enough for each side and that it's symmetrical. So and then I don't need to count these, but I don't think I need to count the crystals because I definitely have more than enough of those. So I'm going to put, I think, 2 of these on the necklace. But I'm going to take 4 just in case I decide to incorporate more than that. So I'm going to show you, let's see, so we want 24 of these on each side. I'm going to do 2, a crystal, and then a 10mm. I think that'll be a good pattern. And then I'll do that pattern again, and then I'll put in one of the, so let's see, I'm going to do 2 of these, then 1 of these, then 1 of these, then maybe that guy, then another one of these, and then this again, and then I'll do that pattern one more time. I think that'll be really pretty. My brass beads are not going to be going anywhere. I could have chosen a little bit better beads to use here. I don't think I have any like 6/0s. Okay, so this necklace is definitely going to test how dedicated I am to these. I don't know that I really love how they look in the first place, but they're really difficult to get on there. So I actually ended, and I double second guessed myself here with this bead, but now I like it. It originally started off a little bit darker, and what I did to make it match this metal a little better was take this vintage reliefing block. And this guy's been through the ringer. I probably should get a new one, but and I took it to my bead, so it's just a touch darker than my pendant, and I didn't like it, and I was literally searching so hard through everything, but I came back after I remembered I have a reliefing block. Actually need to use this piece, and rubbing that on there, it starts brightening up the bead, and it's just removing some of the antiquing from this, and it's actually bringing out maybe even a silverish color, but it's brightening it up to look more like my pendant versus this side that's a little bit darker. And I know it's kind of hard to tell on camera, but this is highlighting some of the things that were a little bit too dark on the bead for me. So then I'm just gonna keep going until it looks like I want it to look. So I'm going to put 2 of them together. So on the left is the one that's been relieved, and then the one on the right is the one that hasn't. And I guess under this lighting it's not very apparent, but to the naked eye it really is. Okay. This block is really great if you've patinaed something and you want to relief some of that patina, you want to take some of that patina back off, perfect for this. I need to get a new one. I've had this one for a couple of years now. Okay, so that's good. I'm going to go ahead and keep going. So here's our pattern. I started with two 8mm jaspers, one crystal, then the 10mm bead, and then another one of these brass bead. Then I'll come back to the 10mm and we'll go back up. So I'll come back when I'm finished with both sides.
Many unbearable hours later.
Okay, I really need somebody to just be the devil on my shoulder and tell me not to do things. Oh, this necklace is almost finished. I wanted to come back and show you before I put the clasp on. It's gorgeous. I love it. But let me tell you, these little brass beads were going to be the death of me. And it was funny, the gray, I had problems putting both pieces through the smaller bead, which were those little brass beads, and then these jaspers from Anne Marie. And it was always the gray strand that I had a problem with. And I don't know if it was thicker than the brown strand or not, but the first half of the necklace was like torture. But the second half of the necklace was a lot of fun, and it did not run into the same problems I had on the first half. So this is how torturous it was. Halfway through, I decided I'm not using these little brass beads anymore. I'm switching to these little brass bicones. And now those were antique brass, so I did end up using my vintage reliefing block on those. But I thought, nobody's going to be looking at this except for me. And then I made sure that the front of each side had the little brass. So I finished the first side, and then I had to go back to using these little brass beads, and I almost cried a couple times, but it's okay. It's okay. We're good. It's a beautiful necklace. I'm going to check to see if it's long enough. It's pretty long. Let me see how long. It's about 30 inches. That's actually a little bit shorter than I wanted it to be. So I think I'm going to do a couple more sets of these jasper beads up the back until it gets long enough. All right, I added just a couple more beads to each side, and I wanted to go over knotting one more time because I can't remember how many I knotted on camera, and I wanted to give you just another peek into it. So I have my 3 beads on. I'm just going to make a knot, pull these through, and hold it open with my fingers. And then I'm going to go through this loop and grab the cord right above the bead where I want the knot to go. Then I'm going to pull that tight as possible and slip out my knotting pliers, and then move that down and pull tight. There we go. Now I am going to finish this off, I'm going to use a clamshell or culotte or whatever you call it on each side. Now I think what I'm going to run into here is the issue with both strands not going through, but actually these look a little bigger, so I might be able to use them. I need to find a clasp that'll look good. I'm going to go ahead and use this antique brass toggle. However, I am going to use my reliefing block on it just to brighten it up just a little bit. There we go. You can use sandpaper if you don't have one of these, but just a very fine grit. These are very, very fine. They're really more like polishing pads instead of sandpaper. Here we go. Now I'm going to take my 2 strings. I'm going to pull them up through. It worked. I'm going to pull them up through my culotte, and I am going to just knot it like we've doing, like it's just a bead. So I'm going to just tie that around, pull that through, and then come down to through my loop, and then hold next to my culotte here. Okay, hold those two pieces. And then I'm just going to pull tight like we've been doing the entire time, trying not to get the clot in the middle of the knot here. And then I am just going to slide that down. There we go. We've got a little knot there. I am going to glue that. Just drop a dot of my not E6000, my GS Hypo Cement or Super New Glue. Got a brand new tube. It's always great to feel open up a brand new tube of glue. It's one of my favorite things. Okay, so we're just gonna put some glue on that knot. You don't have to do this, but I want this necklace to last a very long time, like until I'm old, like very old. I want to be wearing this in my 90s. Okay. And I'm gonna let that dry for a second, and then I'm gonna do the other side. All right, I've been given this a little bit of time to dry, and I'm just gonna take, oh boy, we've got a tangle. I'm just gonna take my scissors and snip. So our knot is hidden, hence the name. Sometimes they're called knot covers. And then I'm just gonna do the exact same thing on the other side. There we go. Couple of jump rings. And another reason why I use the knot covers instead of just tying right onto my clasp is if I ever want to put a different type of clasp on the back, or want to do an extender or some chain, I can easily change this out. Now, if I had knotted right to my clasp, which I do sometimes, this would have stayed the same length forever. So we have a completed necklace. Let me get the trash out of here. And I am also going to do some bracelets because this is for me. I'm not going to make any earrings, but I am going to make some bracelets. So what do you think? Isn't this gorgeous? I obviously will put some glamour shots at the end, but I just love it. And I just love when certain supplies just come together. I've had this for 3 years and these for a couple, and then these are brand new to me. So makes me super happy. So there's the necklace using the Bargain Bead Box and some of my stash. And then I pulled out some stuff to use for a bracelet. So want to use one of those for a bracelet. I'm going to use the remaining brecciated jasper from Anne Marie. I have a few of the 10mm rounds left from the Bargain Bead Box kit. And then I have these are from the April Bargain Bead Box. I pulled out these 2 Z beads from the Bargain Bead Box, but this one's more green, so I'm going to set that one aside. I am going to make a bracelet using that. So I think we're going to make 3, because then I also want to make a leather bracelet. I'm not sure if I'm going to use these. And I also got these out. These were in the Bargain Bead Box too, but I can't remember what the name of those were. And I pulled out some more brass beads, and I have these little suckers out too. I figure those will be easier, hopefully, on a stretch bracelet than they were on the necklace. So, and I can't forget the crystals. So we're going to have fun making some bracelets here. I'm just going to make easy bracelets because that necklace took a lot out of me. But I got out some metallic bronze, 1mm leather, think I got this from Bracelet.Street, USA. But let's see. I don't really know what I want to do on as a leather bracelet. I was going to do like this guy in the center. Yeah, I think that'll be cute. We'll just do an easy one. I have to find a smaller toggle because the toggle I had out, which now is gone. I have no idea where I put it. The second one, oh, here it is. It's bigger. It's bigger than the ring. So let's get some brass-ish looking wire out. I have gold, but I'm going to see if I have anything that looks kind of brassy. This is close. Okay. So I'm just going to cut a little bit of this. This is going to be a simpler bracelet. I don't really need a whole lot here. So I'm going to put part of my leather through the bracelet. I actually don't even need that much. We're going to put it, unless you want it to be a double strand, and I really don't want it to be a double strand. This is just going to be really simple. And then I am going to take some wire here and wire wrap that. You could knot it to actually, you know what? I think a knot will be really cute there instead of wire. And then I don't have to worry about it matching. So I am just gonna do a little bit more. Tie a knot. Push it through. And this will stick with our theme of knotting today, I guess. Pull it down to my little ring. There we go, that's fun. I like that. And then I'll probably put a dab of glue in there. And then I want to put just a couple beads on here. I don't need a whole lot. Let me see if these fit. I didn't actually test this leather through some of the beads, so we might be sorely disappointed because I tested a different 1mm leather. Yeah, that's not going to fit through there, but it'll fit through these. These have a tiny hole, so I'm not too optimistic here. Yeah, that's not going to work. It's funny, not all 1mm cord is the same 1mm. Oh my goodness. There we go. And then not all beads are drilled equally either. I'm going to put a spacer. Okay. So there's the first side of our bracelet. Obviously, I'm going to trim this in just a moment. I need to find a clasp, and we'll start working on the second side. All right, I have all my beads on. I already put a little bit of glue inside that knot and then around the tails on this knot. And then now I just have to add on my clasp. So I found these just very generic looking antique brass clasps in my stash that I think will go really well. And they're just a little bit smaller than the ring, so they're not going to overpower the bracelet. And I am just going to measure on my wrist and see where I need to tie my clasp. And I'm actually not going to tie. I am going to save that little piece of wire from before, and I'll show you how I'm going to put it around the clasp. Now, if you don't want these beads to move around, what you can do is put a knot and it'll stay stationary. And I'm actually considering that. I don't really want them to be moving around. So I think that's a good distance away from the knot, and I'll just put one here. There we go, and you don't need to glue this knot. And I'll do one on this side. There we go. I'm going to trim this. There we go. So there's our bracelet so far. Super cute. Now I just need to measure where I need to put my knots. So that's what it'll look like on the top of the wrist. It's a great stacker. So the clasp needs to be right there. Okay. I'm just going to do one side at a time. So I'm just making a knot or a notch with my fingernails so I know kind of where to put the clasp. I'm just going to double check. Measure twice, cut once, folks. Okay. So I want it to be a little bit further than that. And then what I'm going to do is just do that technique that I was going to show before I decided to knot it. And you can knot it here if you want. I would actually recommend thinner wire, but I don't have any thinner wire in this color. I just have 20 gauge. So guess who needs to go buy some wire? Also, guess who's not going to go buy wire? Because I told my mom, I for the longest time haven't really been driving because I work from home now. And since she moved here, I've put 3 tanks of gas in my car. And I told her I'm not driving anymore. I'm not going anywhere else. Canceling all my plans. Sorry, I'm staying in the house forever. Because it's expensive. And I am definitely about saving the planet. So if I don't have to drive, I try not to. All right. There we go. This would be a lot easier with thinner wire, especially because we have thin leather, but it's going to look good. All right, so I'm just going to cut my wire, and then I'm going to take my pliers and kind of smush those in there. I don't want any scratches on my wrist. You can use your nylon jaw pliers for this too, so you don't mar your wire. This is the definition of a messy wrap today. Okay. I want that guy to squeeze up a little bit. There we go. All right, I'm gonna trim right up against that wire. Here we go. Make sure you don't trim your leather. My goodness. Okay, and then I am just going to remeasure on my wrist to see where to cut this leather. And I am just going to pull that right in there. Okay, and then I'm just going to keep wire wrapping. Ooh, that's thick wire. All right, so I don't want to go too far down the leather, so I'm going to start working it back up. There we go. All right, I'm just going to make a little trim. There we go. And I'm just gonna, before I cut this, check to make sure that the length is okay. And if not, I can cut that wire right back off. That's perfect. It's a little big, but it's okay. I think it's gonna be good because then I can wear it further down when I have a bracelet on. I'm gonna trim my leather. And bracelet 1 is finished. And that'll be the most difficult one I make, because I was trying to go for easy. And really it was easy. So there's bracelet 1, super cute. Looks great with our necklace. I might hit that with the reliefing block or some sandpaper. There we go. And I'm doubting you can even see that on camera, but I just wanted a little bit brighter. Okay, so next I want a bracelet. I want 2 more bracelets, one with this one and one with that one. And I'm actually thinking elastic cord. Got some .7mm Stretch Magic. And this one, I just want to be the focal, but I want to grab some of these. These are leftover brass beads from a vintage necklace that I took apart. And looks like these other ones are a little silver, so it looks like I have 2 gold, well 3 gold, but I think it's okay. All right, I'm gonna put one of these on. One of the silvery ones. My Z bead. And then the rest, I think I'm just going to do crystals on this one. Maybe not. Okay, so I'm just going to put 1 stone bead and then the rest crystals. Okay, so I'll just cut my stretch cord. And I cut the wrong ends. My goodness. All right, we'll go ahead and stretch that. Tie knot. Grab your GS Hypo cement. trim our ends here. And move that knot inside our bead. So there we go. Super cute and looks great with our leather bracelet. Put them on as I go, yes. Okay, and then I want to do one more using this. I'm going to relief my bead first. I need a new one of these, like pronto. Now I do have a buffing block here, like a nail buffing block. It's a different type. This is much less coarse than a nail buffer. But if you want to use a nail buffer, that's a fantastic tool for distressing your beads. Okay. All right. So I'm thinking on this one, I kind of want to do a combo of both. So a combo of the leather and just a beaded bracelet. I'm going to grab another one of these rings. Okay. I'm going to get out some bead stringing wire crimp tube. And I just found this really vintage button in my stash, so I think we're going to use this to be the closure along with some leather. Don't know where that came from, possibly from one of my grandmother's jewelry boxes. I'm not sure. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and actually put my crimp tube on. Sorry, my hands are dirty from that relieving block. And come through. Go back through my bead. Grab my crimping pliers. Make sure my pieces aren't make sure my tails aren't crossed. Goldie's got the zoomies. She got a bath and she is just not happy that mommy's not making lunch or dinner. She's over it. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Crimp, turn it sideways, crimp again, and keep going. And then I am going to string some beads. Okay, so we'll start with some of these guys, or at least one of those guys. Put on a couple of the brecciated jasper. I'm just winging it. I know all these beads look really nice together, so I'm just winging it. And it's going to be asymmetrical for sure, because I only want one of those beads on there, but we'll get another one on here. I actually think this little brass bead will end up going inside of the larger brass beads, but that's okay. So that's good enough there. I'm going to put another crimp tube on. And we're going to come back down through a couple of these beads. Okay. But I also want to slide in this to some of the beads on the other side too. And I'll trim that side. Okay. Move this all down. And I want to make sure that I crimp this while it's bent so I don't have a straight line around my wrist. Just going to pull that as taut as possible. Go ahead and crimp. We're going to turn it the other way. There we go. There we go. Now I'm going to trim this, and yes, I know I mentioned leather. We're getting there. I'll take some of my leftover metallic bronze leather from the other one, put it through here, make a knot. Don't have to glue this one. Get it up against the ring. And then we'll make another one, but we want to make sure that the button will fit through the opening between the two knots, and that'll be our closure. Now, the cool thing is I can hang a charm from here and put some beads on the end of there. Okay. So I want to make sure, again, that fits through. Put a knot right here. You can do a barrel knot if you'd like. Okay, before I pull that all the way closed, I want to make sure that I can get my button in and out. And it's a little tight, but I can do it. Okay. Now, I'm going to grab my GS Hypo Cement and put a little bit of glue along there. And pull that tight. Oop. Oh boy, I want to make sure that that's still able to get in and out. And it is. It's very good. All right, so we're not done yet. It's a very pretty bracelet as is, but you know, we need something hanging here, and I might try and find. I don't know if I have a crimp cover for that, because I don't really like how that crimp bead looks. Here we go. So much better. I know it's just a little thing, but that would have bugged me forever. And I can't even really see the one on this side. But you know what? Consistency, right? Take this out of here. There we go. There we go. Getting my money's worth out of these crystals today. You remember I was just going to make a necklace? Now we're 3 bracelets deep. All right. Yeah, that's not going to go around there. So we're just going to use a jump ring. It's a very thick gauge wire, so that's why I'm using my pliers to wrap it around today. We've got everything in this video: leather, knotting, stringing, elastic cord, wire wrapping. This is wonderful. Got my creative bead juices flowing today. Nope, don't like that. Whew, that is a thick gauge. Wow, it's strong. You know, it looks a little wonky, but that's there. We fixed it. Okay. Better. There we go. All right, so I just need to finish this off with a couple jump rings here. And then I'm going to put a couple beads on the end of my leather and we'll be good to go. See if this jump ring is large enough. If not, I'll have to get out a different one. Let's see. Yeah, it's perfect. Okay, this became quite a bracelet. And then what I'm going to do here is find the end of this. Get this guy. Oh, I found some more. Well, would you look at that? Okay. All right, and then we'll do the other side. Put this right here. Get out my GS Hypospet one more time. Where'd she go? Here it is. And I'll pull that a little bit tighter. If you don't use glue, that's totally fine. If you put glue inside the knots, that's totally fine. Whatever floats your boat. All right, we'll pull that tight, really tight. There we go. Perfect. And then I will trim. And we have ourselves a very involved bracelet that I wasn't expecting when I started, but let me put it on. Okay, so this one's a little big. If I restring it, it's going to be really easy to restring, but it moves around the wrist. And then I have my leather bracelet right here and my stretch bracelet. So you've got a really nice stack. Isn't that fun? And then we make some noise too. So let me know what you think. Let me know which one was your favorite, the necklace, the bracelet, a bracelet, or the whole stack. And I had so much fun. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for Goldie. She's super cute. Have a good day. Bye-bye. You have such a hard life, Goldie. You little pampered puppy. Yeah, pampered. Look at those teeth. Yeah, hi, cutie.